Okay, Dan, so you were last seen in action UFC 111 in the main event. How was the whole situation and the whole experience for you?
Everything apart from the fight was good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole build up to it, the cameras being around and the fan interaction was amazing. First time I fought on a big show in the US as well, and it was awesome to be close to New York and to have so many fans there. And it was just a great experience.
Okay, you stepped in there against one of the best fighters in the world. You went the distance with him, forced many people to even criticise his game. What's that done for your confidence?
I think more than anything, I know what he's got now. I know what he's got, and I know what it's going to take for me to get to the belt. I mean, he's a fantastic fighter, superior wrestler to most people in the division, and I know what I need to do now to get back to where he's at and take his belt from him. So it's given me that confidence. I know I can now set goals to achieve and to get back there. Other than that, I knew I had the toughness to get to the distance, and I was hoping I was going to put it on him a little bit more in the stand up, but he was pretty slick with his takedowns and stuff, and I know for next time.
Did he surprise you with how good he was? And obviously, other than his wrestling, is there anything else that you feel you need to work on?
The thing that surprised me was how unorthodox his wrestling is. The way he shoots is quite different to a lot of people I train with. So obviously that's something I've had to work on. I've had to bring guys in and get them shooting similar to how he shoots. Other than that, I wasn't particularly surprised. He's very athletic, but he wasn't particularly as strong or as powerful as I thought he'd be, which was surprising. I was expecting to be up against it as far as strength goes on the floor, but it was really technique that was against me on the day.
Okay, you've been involved in a little bit of a debate on the effects of wrestling on the sport of mixed martial arts, and also the responsibilities of maybe the referees in making sure that wrestlers don't spoil the fights. How difficult was it watching someone like Nick Lentz basically hang on Andre Winner for 15 minutes?
It's just frustrating. It's unfortunate though that was the fight that spurred the column that I wrote, because it's not necessarily wrestling that's the problem. It's the mindset that some fighters have. I could have said exactly the same about the Caleb Starnes Nate Quarry fight, and that was pretty much all on the feet. If one fighter doesn't want to engage, whether that be running away or clinging onto a leg and stalling, it's all the same. You know what I mean? It's just it's going in there without the intention of beating your opponent. That I find frustrating, and that's, if anything, that's the thing that's going to kill the sport. The UFC have got arguably all the best fighters in the world, so they can make all the matchups that people want to see. But it's still the fighter's responsibility to make a fight out of it, and you can't have a fight with one person. You need two people that want to tear up, and some fighters just don't want to do that, and it's frustrating.
Okay. You're fighting another Greg Jackson fighter next, Carlos Condit, UFC 120. Are you expecting them to try and implement a similar sort of containment game plan with yourself?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think Condit's the kind of guy that would suit to a game plan like that. He likes a fight, which is why I'm looking forward to it. I think training with Greg Jackson, he's gonna go for a safer game plan. But at the same time, I think if when I catch him with a couple of shots, I think he's going to kind of slip back to his old ways and start to war a little bit. He doesn't seem like the kind of fighter that is prepared to kind of stall and try and get the decision. He looks like the kind of guy that wants to finish. Particularly with his record before the UFC, most of his fights were finishes, and it's the kind of guy I want to fight, a guy that chases the win.
Okay, you've said in recent interviews that Condit's made a big mistake calling you out. Do you want to elaborate on your thoughts on that situation? What you meant by that?
I think he looks at me as probably one of the easier fights for him in the division, and I think that a lot of other people looked at me like that as well in the past, and on the night it's turned out to not be the case. Mike Swick thought he was going to walk through me and get a title shot. Davis thought I was just a big mouth and he was going to knock me out. And, I'm not. If he takes a fight against me, he's in for a fight, regardless of how it goes or where the fight goes. It's not going to be an easy night for him. And I'm coming off my first loss in the UFC. I don't like it. I haven't got the belt, and I'm annoyed. And he's called me out, and he's prepared to put himself in front of me when I'm trying to get back to the title, and that was just a silly thing to do. he's just, I mean, he's a gritty opponent, he'll hang in there, but he's not fought anybody like me before, and I'm going to put it on him like he's never seen before.
Okay, you've also made reference to a secret weapon you brought into camp for this time round.
Yep.
Any clues?
He's a world-class jiu-jitsu player. World class. He's amazing. And all the guys who started working with him, we've brought him in, and he's already had some huge effects on everybody's game. And I think that it's a new era for Roughhouse having him within the team.
Okay, can we expect the Outlaw to maybe start taking people down and choking them out?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's quickly becoming a possibility of a game plan to take Condit down and choke him out. But I do want to hit him a few hundred times first.
Okay. I mean, what kind of fight can we all expect to see from you on October 16th? And where do you think a win will put you in the division?
Well, I'm prepared for 15 minutes at full pace. I've never been in this good a shape before. I know that's a bit of a cliche, all fighters say that, but the last fight really spurred me on to harder training and really motivated me to keep pushing. And I just feel like this fight, especially going from a 25-minute fight back down to a 15-minute fight, I've already got the conditioning for a fast-paced 25 minutes. So to take it down to 15 minutes, I can keep a fast pace on him, and I think Condit's a tough enough guy. I'll be able to keep up with him for at least a round. But I'm expecting probably early second round he's going to start feeling some heavy bombs, and someone's going to have to tell him on Sunday what happened.
Okay, the always entertaining Chael Sonnen tested positive for drugs this week. Big smile on your face. I mean, as a fighter, were you surprised when the news broke? And can a fighter ever really recover from this sort of scandal in the fans' eyes and also fellow professionals?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. I was disappointed. I was. I think that he had such a good showing in the fight, and the whole build up to the fight was awesome as well. I just think it's a shame that his efforts are going to be tarnished because of it. But having said that, in professional sports, it's always going to be an issue, and I think certainly other professionals in the sport understand a little bit of the pressures he was under and things like that. So it's easier for the fighters to forgive him a little bit, I think. I mean, from a fan perspective, obviously, it's very difficult to understand the kind of pressure he was under. But you step into a world title fight against one of the best in the world, and I kind of see where he's coming from, wanting that little extra advantage. But it was a bad choice, and it was disappointing.
Okay, also teammate Paul Daly's recently signed with Strikeforce. Do you feel that that's the best place for him at the minute, considering his position with the UFC? And how much would you like to see him fight Nick Diaz?
I would very much like to see him fight Nick Diaz. I think Paul is 3 fights away from the belt in Strikeforce, without a doubt. I don't think there's anybody in the division in Strikeforce that can deal with him. I really don't. I think it's only a matter of time before he's got the belt around his waist, and I think he's gonna have a big impact in that promotion. And I think he's gonna look really good. I think he's gonna shine. I know he's disappointed from what happened with the UFC, and I think he's had 2 fights since, and he's really made an effort to shine. And I think that moving to Strikeforce is really going to spur him on, getting back on on a big show, and having a lot of fan support behind him. I think it's going to be a good move for him.
Okay, good luck at UFC 120. Are there any sponsors or anybody else?
Same as usual, really. Tap Out, always looking after me. Zions have been great. Earache Records, and I've got a couple of new sponsors for this fight as well. I think Head Rush and the Gun Store.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and DanHardyMMA.com.